Hey, welcome everyone to Superfriends episode 67. I am your host, Nick, and I am joined by Luke.
What's up, guys?
Tim.
How's it going, everyone?
Josh.
How's it going?
And our special guest this week, you guys might know him from DC All Access and various other things, along with his YouTube channel, Jawiin. We have Jason Inman.
Thanks for having me on, Superfriends.
Yeah, and before we get into the show, do you want to kind of like tell people what you do or what you're doing currently, or?
Well, the biggest thing I have currently going on is my wife and I co-wrote a 5-issue comic book series called Jupiter Jet, and we currently have it up on Kickstarter, and you can find that at jupiterjetcomic.com. And we have a lot of cool perks, like from Wonder Woman artist Nicholas Scott and Batman artist Mitch Gerrards. But it's basically an all-ages comic book about a girl who steals a jetpack, and she robs from the mob. And this mysterious man named Pluto has glowing eyes and a ray gun. He starts chasing her down. And it's about the adventure that she goes on in terms of all of her robbery and tomfoolery.
Wow, that's cool. Is that going through a publisher, or is that just your own self-publishing?
Yeah, it will be published with Action Lab Comics. Okay. They will be handling the publishing. But like any creator-owned series, we have to be able to pay our artist and our letterer and our colorist. Action Labs is only responsible for getting it into comic book stores. So that's why we did the Kickstarter. And you may notice if you go over there, it's already funded. We're trying to push through some more stretch goals because we're trying to add a backup to the book that will be drawn by a DC comic book artist.
Wow.
That's
okay, cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm familiar with a lot of those people that you mentioned too, so that's really cool.
Well, hop on over there because like anybody that kickstarts anything will tell you that it helps. Like even $1 makes a huge difference. So if you want to go over there and get some cool really rewards, we just added like Jupiter Jet trading cards today. You want to go head over and do that, jupiterjetcomic.com.
Going right back to the 90s.
Oh man, I am so retro, and I actually designed them like some '90s superhero comic book trading cards that I had.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
That's nice.
What's next? You got a holographic covers planned for?
We're not going that crazy. I wish.
The foil, gold foil variant.
Yeah, the look.
I can promise you that if you open up Jupiter Jet issue #1, it will smell like it was printed on paper.
Okay, that's
I mean,
nice.
You can't get
Limited
any better
edition.
than that. So.
All right,
That
cool.
new paper smell.
Luke, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, actually. This was one of those days where I am working on campus instead of working at my regular job. So it was a good day. Got to move some computers into storage, do some filing, really boring stuff, but a little more relaxing.
Hey, you said your filing job was awesome, though. Remember the last podcast we were on? You're talking about...
I never said that.
No?
I don't know who you're quoting. It wasn't
know.
me. How much I know. Job sucks.
Yeah. All right, Tim, what have you been up to lately?
No, honestly, not a whole lot that's worth going over.
Okay. Josh, anything new?
It's tax season, so long nights.
That's fun. That taxing.
No.
I love that.
No, the government's not fun.
I mean, maybe, but
I mean,
I'll
maybe
just,
if you're on their
I just
side.
take mine to.
but-
I just take mine to H&R Block because I am terrible at being an adult. I can't do that.
Adulting.
Can't do my
adulting too
taxes.
much.
Adulting sucks. So I just take my stuff to H&R Block so I don't have to think about it.
yeah, that's true.
I don't even care. I don't even care if they're screwing me over. I just want it done so I don't get in trouble.
Jeez.
Yeah. Jason, what have you been up to? Like apart from your comic and everything.
Oh, a lot of it has been the comic book, but the most recent thing I did was I went to the Paley Center and I got to see Justice League Dark the night before it premiered and meet Matt Ryan, which was really cool.
Wow.
And by the way, Justice League Dark, the animated movie, it's available on digital right now. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah, just a side note here. I did the review for the Hyper Network channel, and I actually really enjoyed it a lot. In terms of like the, scaling it up against the New 52 animated movies they've done, I really enjoyed this one a lot.
Yeah, I think it's one of the better ones. Yeah.
Definitely. I actually got invited to go to the Paley premiere, but my schedule was a little hectic that day, so.
It was a fun time, my friend. You missed out.
You missed out
I
on Matt
really
Ryan.
wanted to go, man. Matt Ryan, man, I wanted to meet him.
Yeah. I can't wait until they just bite the bullet and just give him a new season of Constantine live action.
Well, they're doing. I think that's kind of maybe the idea that they're thinking about with. They're doing the animated series first, but To be honest with you, Matt Ryan told me at Justice League Dark premiere, because I asked him that too, because who wouldn't ask him that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He said that his schedule is just so busy. He's working on this other show that's for BBC, and he says that right now that eats up all of his time. So doing a live-action Constantine wouldn't even be possible for him right now.
I can imagine that. I was always kind of bummed when he was on Arrow. He was only on there for such a small amount of time, because I felt like his character could have probably not really fleshed out certain, mystical things that they might have went into, but I feel like his character could have had like a really cool subplot to really go along with Oliver. But Nick, I'm gonna let you take it from here to lead us into our topics.
Just one
that.
one really quick thing that I there was rumors that he was going to be on Legends season 2, which would have been really cool also, but
Well, he's got that animated thing, right? That's
Yeah.
It's going to be on the CW Seed, and it's going to still be tied into that universe.
He's getting the Vixen treatment.
That's fine.
Yes. And you know what? I saw season 1 of Vixen. I didn't see season 2. Season 1 was great too. I liked it.
I got to check that out.
good.
I don't think I've seen those ones, so.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
pretty solid.
All right, so I guess as we move into the news here, it's pretty DCEU heavy actually this time. It seems like the past couple of weeks there's been a surprising amount of DC movie news, so that's pretty cool because there had been a dry spell, I think, kind of over the holiday. But the first topic we have here is kind of unfortunate news, I guess, for fans of the Batman film. Ben Affleck is stepping down as director. According to a press release from himself, I believe, in Warner Brothers, they kind of came to a mutual agreement that he did not want to pursue directing, and he's going to look for a kind of partner to help him out with the project. So, I guess, Jason, what are your thoughts when you heard this news?
My thoughts on this are exactly the same as any time any other movie loses its director. It doesn't matter, because so many movies out there, and this is something like, as the other fella who lives in LA can tell you, like, every movie out there gets 6 different directors and 6 different writers before they end up with the writer or the director that we see. And the only reason why I feel this is being reported is because it's a superhero thing, which everybody needs now. But I actually give a lot of respect to Ben Affleck for this, because Ben Affleck is a huge Batman fan. All you got to do is listen to any interview with him. And I give him a lot of respect for him being like, look, it is very hard playing Batman, and it would be so hard for me to direct this on top of that, on top of writing it. So I respect that he gave up one of his dream gigs, because you have to imagine him directing this Batman movie was probably a dream gig for him.
Oh yeah, that's why he took Daredevil back in the day. He wanted to be Batman.
Yes, exactly. So I give mad respect to him for being like, look, I'd rather the movie be good than me get all of my dreams.
Yeah. I'd imagine it'd be hard to kind of, have to put on the suit and then sort of direct people around and everything.
He'd have to direct in the suit. He couldn't even get out of it. That's how complicated that suit is.
I'd be really eager to see the behind the scenes of that, actually. Just him,
Yeah.
maneuvering around with it, because if I remember correctly, the way his cowl is, it's one of the older styles where you have to turn your whole body. So I'm just trying to imagine him turning his whole body to tell people all right, I want you here, emote more here. I think it'd be really funny.
No one crosses the Bat director.
It'd be emote more, and he can't bend his arm, and he's just waving his arms like sticks.
Just turning at the hip.
Yeah, but to echo what Jason said, they're I totally give Ben Affleck props. That's kind of a hard thing to maybe admit, not only to yourself but to others, because I'm sure not only were the stakes so high, but just personal pressure, because he is a huge Batman fan. But I honestly, I'm not too concerned. I know some people are gonna blow it out of proportion, and they're gonna be Batman movie in turmoil. But like Jason's kind of mentioned, we've seen this tons of times with movies. I know it's a DC podcast. Marvel's been a culprit of this all the time. They constantly change directors before they actually start filming.
I know. Did everybody forget when Patty Jenkins, director of Wonder Woman, was supposed to direct Thor 2?
Yeah, and then Ant-Man went through a bunch of directors.
Yep.
And it's
Yes, I did in fact forget when Patty Jenkins was going to direct Thor 2.
I forgot Thor had a movie.
Yeah, it's true, right?
What was that? What was the second one called? What was that about? Some elves and shit in space?
The Dark World.
The dark hole.
Yeah, I don't know. Luke, what did you think of this news though? Ben Affleck stepping down.
I mean, it was sad because, we had gotten like 3 weeks ago on Jimmy Kimmel. He was like, guys, it's going to happen. I'm going to do a great job. But, and then like, now it's just, he's not doing it. But I mean, at the same time, he's still like heavy-handed in it. Like his influence and everything's not going away. They're just getting someone to help him with the actual directing. Because I imagine, like Jason said and like Josh said, it's hard work doing all that crap. Because he's writing the damn thing. He's gonna be playing Batman. He's gonna be directing. He's gonna be producing. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that someone can do every single thing with the movie. So
I mean,
I'm not too worried about him dropping out as a director. Like, I'm sure they can get someone that they can work with, to make as good of a product as possible. Because I feel like if any movie they would want to put 110% into, it would be Batman. And I don't see this as a sign of it in turmoil. I just see it as a sign, as Ben just acknowledging that this is a lot to take into his plate, and to just willingly give up a part of it so that it can be the best project it can be.
Yeah, I mean, plus when I think about the past movies Ben Affleck's written and starred in, or like written and directed and written, starred and directed in, a lot of times overall the movies that he's like written and starred in but not directed have been better than the movies that he's done all three with. I mean, like, I know Gone Girl, kind of swope, a bunch of accolades, but I mean, like, besides that, when you look at the other movies, especially early on in his career when he was just like writing, maybe starring or just writing, I mean, when another director went in, I feel like he was able to put so much more effort into everything else and make those other facets better that, I mean, he trusted a director and ended up just all meshing together a whole lot better than him trying to divide all his energy up between different phases of filmmaking.
Yeah, like Chasing Amy. Yeah, it's great. I love that.
So I just wonder, will we get the
Dogma.
confirmation that Matt Damon is Nightwing?
No, that's
No, I don't
Armin
see that
Hammer
happening.
is Nightwing.
Army Hammer.
No.
Armin Hammer.
That's still the fun. That's
that-
one of the funniest I've ever seen when they like photoshopped Matt Damon on Robin and Ben Affleck on Batman, like them running like Adam West, Batman. That was
Yeah.
great.
Tim, what did you hear?
Nice.
What did you think of the news? Like Ben Affleck, Batman directing.
I guess my thoughts pretty much fall in line with everyone else's, and I expect that since Ben Affleck has as much influence as he does in the movie, that he's just going to pick someone who he feels will match the style that he wants to go for anyway. So it'll probably still end up pretty similar to what it would have been had he been directing anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. I hope they. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict like what kind of director they're gonna get because there's a lot of top tier directors that they could kind of pull from. Well, hopefully. I mean, it's kind of a tall order, I guess, to follow up and do a Batman movie after Christopher Nolan's amazing trilogy. But I mean, hopefully it all works out in the end. I guess. That's all I have to say on it. But moving on, in lighter news, Aquaman cast Black Manta and Atlanta today. Actually, like pretty much both of them dropping within like a couple hours or each other. So pretty cool stuff here. Definitely. It seems like the Aquaman movie is like rolling along pretty nicely, and I think that production. I don't know. Do you guys know when production starts on this movie? I'm not sure exactly.
As far as I knew, I thought it started like sometime in February.
Oh, really? Wow. I
Yeah,
thought it was like summer, maybe. That was my range.
No, because Aquaman comes out, I believe, May of next year, something like that.
Okay.
So they've got to film it pretty soon if they want enough time to be able to do all the post production.
Yeah, I can
Wow, yeah, that's
imagine.
not-
I can only imagine how
I
much
thought
they
it
have
get-
too, because all the underwater scenes
Jeez.
and. I mean, I can only imagine a majority of the movie will take place around water, in water.
Okay, I'm wrong. It comes out on
I was about to
October
say it was-
5th of 2000.
Oh.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I thought they started filming it in February. I will Google as we continue to talk.
Well, I think they might have pushed it back, because I know they shifted some dates around quite a few times now, like over the past like year or so.
Yeah. Because I thought it was originally supposed to be July, then it got moved to October.
Okay. They're filming that in Australia too, I think, at the Gold Coast Studios.
So the production for Aquaman starts, in Australia in May of 2017.
Okay.
I'm pretty
wow.
excited,
So it's a
honestly.
summer.
All right.
I'm
I am
very
too.
excited. Mostly just because I feel like when they casted Jason Momoa, I mean, arguably Aquaman's gotten like a bad rap. Like, I mean, I know the Jeff Johns run like kind of brought a lot of new people in to like him, but I know like before that he kind of got a bad rap. And I feel like definitely the Jason Momoa casting, like, it gives them a lot of flexibility with what they do. So I'm kind of interested in seeing what they go with. I'm really interested though in Black Manta. I know a lot of people said he was going to be the villain, but for the longest time, I didn't think they were actually going to go through with Black Manta as the first villain. So I'm interested in what they do.
Yeah, you also have Orm in there too. I think they're gonna set up Orm though. He won't be the villain right away. He'll be like the Loki in the background.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with that. 'Cause I feel like if they did Orm from the get-go, there'd be too many comparisons to like Thor, you know?
Yeah. Jason, what are your thoughts on them getting finally Black Manta in Atlanta? Hopefully, I think it's Nicole Kidman's up for the role.
You mean Atlantis?
Atlantis.
I mean, it's true. We haven't seen Atlanta in the DC cinematic universe. So I'd be interested to see how they bring that to life.
Oh.
That mystical land of Atlanta.
Yeah,
Atlanta. Black Manta is a good choice, especially because I think Orm and Ocean Master, who's going to be played by Patrick Wilson, he kind of has to be like Baron Mordo, like in Doctor Strange. Like we've got to see him in a movie as a good guy to then be able to see him as a bad guy, because if you just start him out as the bad guy, it's not going to work. So I have a feeling like in this entire Aquaman movie, like Orm will be like his best buddy and best pal, and then probably towards the end he'll be betrayed. But so yeah, when you're thinking about like who is Aquaman's Joker, Black Manta makes the most sense, and plus he has the coolest look.
Yeah. Well,
That's true.
It's going to be weird to see what look they'll go with, though. I mean, he's had quite a few, I think, recently.
Well, I'm interested how they're going to do his origin, like, because I know there's different variations of it. I mean, I know more or less it's usually the same, but I wonder are they going to do like, you know, straight up Aquaman killed his dad and like kind of point blank, and it's like a revenge story. Like, I'm really curious on how they are going to go about it, because I keep hearing that it's like they're going for more of like a kind of swashbuckling, like Pirates of the Caribbean-esque kind of vibe with like how they're doing it. Like, I keep reading reports that saying they're doing that versus, you know, what earlier reports said with the more horror kind of, I mean, not horror necessarily, but I mean, it's James Wan, so, you know, I'm sure there'd be elements of that in there. But I mean, overall, I'm really excited just because, I mean, I like Jason Momoa. He seems like a total, like, you know, like a chill guy. Like, you just have a beer with him and, you know, just chill, watch the game or something.
You throw axes at a wall.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, you just, commercial comes, you just throw axes, you know. Like, where's
but he's the perfect actor to cast as Aquaman though, and make your audience take Aquaman seriously, because right now in the general pop culture, everybody considers Aquaman to be a joke. Like, he's the talk with fish guy, right? You cast Jason Momoa and everybody's like, oh yeah, Aquaman, fuck yeah. Sorry, I didn't know if I could cuss on this podcast.
No, you're good.
Oh yeah,
I'm good.
Oh, it's
all right. Well then, fuck yeah, Aquaman.
Yeah, especially after the whole like Game of Thrones, like. I mean, his character was pretty. I don't know if you guys watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But his character was pretty. Was not really what you would expect from Aquaman. You know what I mean? Like, it was. I mean, like, so I'm sure a lot of those fans are gonna come over and be like, "Yeah, Aquaman's a savage," and not like, "Yeah, Aquaman's a guy that, you know, rides seahorses and, you know, he talks to fish or something like that." Which would be nice, because I can't say enough. I'm sure you guys, you know, obviously, like, you know, because you guys know Aquaman's not like that, but I'm sure you guys have dealt with people that, like, immediately they hear Aquaman and they literally just think of like the Family Guy, you know, version, or the Superfriends version, the bad Superfriends, not the good Superfriends.
Yeah, they think of some asshole who lives underwater with a trident or something. And
or no, one time I had someone get him confused with Mermaid Man from SpongeBob.
Well, that's fair.
To be fair, Mermaid Man's designed off of him, so
I know, but I was just like, come on.
I was about to say, to be fair, their powers are very similar, Josh.
Similar, yes.
Similar.
Yeah, similar.
Tim, what do you think about them finally confirming and casting Black Manta?
Well, it is cool to see Black Manta in there, and I'm really curious how wide they're gonna make his helmet on it. But the thing I was looking up before is that the actor is apparently playing Garner in the Baywatch reboot coming out. So my canon origin for him is that he got tired of Baywatch's shenanigans, went crazy, and attempted to conquer the lifeguard's domain.
Oh, wow. Wait,
I hope they go with that origin.
So in the next movie, we're going to have Aquaman facing off against the greatest aquatic hero of all time, Mitch Buchanan.
Well, here, I want to throw this at you guys, since like we have Black Manta, and I know it's not really a classic thing. It's more of a newer kind of, I mean, New 52, and then Young Justice made it really popular. But, well, I guess technically it's before New 52, but I mean, like, Jackson Hyde, a.k.a. Calderon, like, do you think they're actually going to maybe pursue that instead of, you know, just, you know, Garth?
No.
You don't think so?
No,
do you think they're even going to do that?
No.
Aqualad or
I feel like if
Tempest?
they're going to do Aqualad, it is going to be Jackson/Calder and not going for Garth.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get Aqualad. Honestly,
I think we will. I think, but he'll be like Bucky in Captain America: The First Avenger. He'll just be like a friend of Arthur's.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh wait, well, who do you think they're gonna do? Which Aqualad? If
It'll
they
be
were to
Garth.
do it.
It'll be Garth because
yeah.
Jeff Johns especially is he's very much about the original interpretation of the characters.
Yeah.
And even though I think Calder Aqualad is probably cooler, I think it'll definitely be Garth.
Well, I think it would be cool if they infuse some of
I assume...
Calder's attributes to him, like the not necessarily the electrokinesis, but just kind of like more of that Atlantean mysticism that he displayed. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Well, I mean, if they just make him Tempest, they could probably do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think that if Garth even shows up, they're not going to call him Aqualad. He's just going to be Tempest because Aqualad's really...
I mean, we could be wrong. I mean, when they introduced Wally in the CW Flash show, I really thought they were just going to call him Impulse or something. I didn't think they were going to call him Kid Flash because he's in college.
Well,
But...
that's the CW show. This is the movies. And the movies we've seen, they don't tend
they're
to do
serious
the more
and grounded.
outlandish stuff. They're serious stuff for serious people who have serious needs.
Oh, jeez. Wait, so Jason, you think they will actually do an Aqualad in the films, or?
I mean, I don't know if they'll do an Aqualad per se, but I mean, it would not surprise me. Like I said, we just see some person that's called Garth, and he's his friend, and that's it. You know, and it's like a nice little wink to fans. I whether they'll actually call him Aqualad or anything like that, I really doubt it. But you know, watch them cast, because comic book adaptations do that all the time. Like give a name to somebody else. So
that's giving me flashbacks like Dark Knight Rises.
If they do call him Aqualad, it'll be like a tongue-in-cheek thing, like when they called Victor Doctor Doom in Fan 4 Stick.
Yeah.
I want to point out, I think it's nice that Jason thinks that Aquaman's going to have a lot of friends, whereas everyone else in this universe is pretty much not had anyone be their friend. They're just pretty much lonely and just grumpy.
Well, the DC universe is a very lonely place full of orphans, if you look at it.
That is true.
Yeah. Underwater,
So is
though.
pretty much any comic
friends
book
are all
universe.
underwater.
I mean, I'm sure Aquaman's friends with Nemo and Dory and all them.
You know,
keep
you were
crossing
telling
these
us
universes.
not.
You've crossed Aquaman with Baywatch, the Baywatch Paramount universe, and now the Disney Pixar
Oh, that
universe.
was Tim. That was me. So.
Yeah, what's
Oh,
the
sorry,
next,
my
the
bad.
next
If you
universe
thought-
they're going to cross over with? I'm
I
hoping
mean,
for like Jump Street.
According
and,
to Tim's
Men in Black.
canon, technically Black Adam was a lifeguard. So
Yes.
I mean, I'm with it, man. I would love that crossover, and then like have Aquaman destroy the Black Pearl in the next Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
that would be hilarious.
Crossover with everything related to the sea.
Yep.
Yeah, everything.
You know, if you thought
Jaws.
all that was cool, you should have seen our WWE crossover for Shazam.
Oh my god, yeah. I remember everyone thought John Cena would be Shazam. But
Yeah.
There's still hope.
but I think
You know. Speaking of crossovers and parallel universes and everything, this is like a horrible transition.
I know, right? That's like a Will level transition. Come on.
Hey, I thought that was a little bit better. The Flash movie is getting a page one rewrite.
They should just have me write it, I'm telling you.
I mean, at this point, I'll write it.
Well, hold on.
Anyone will write it.
So, Jason, on the channel, we have this thing called Hybrid's DC Cinematic Universe, which I made like years ago after Man of Steel came out. And I've been keeping
gonna
going
look at it right now.
since. So I'm at I think I'm at 30 something now. Like I'm I have
designing your own universe with these videos.
Yeah, like I have a full-fledged DC universe. So I've done like Superman. I went through Superman. He's dead now. I have like Shazam at this point. I've done Wonder Woman. I've done Aquaman. I've done Flash, Green Lantern. Like I'm on John
Big back
Stewart.
catalog there.
Yeah, like it's huge. But like for the Flash one, I thought it was really funny because I did Star Labs and like all that like inclusion and stuff before they made the Flash show, and then the Flash show came out. Even though I know that was based on a movie script, so I can't try taking credit for that. But no, I think a nice rewrite of the Flash script could be a really good thing for it, because I was kind of afraid that what they might have had before, it was very restricting. That makes any sense? And I feel like now they might try being more kind of open with like what like the Flash will do in this movie. If that makes any sense? Kind of like how with like the Aquaman movie at first, you know, they were like it'll be like darker and they'll kind of go the horror elements. Like you don't know what's in the ocean, you know. there could be like tons of deadly creatures, like, and then they had James Wan and stuff like that. They kept hyping that up, but now they're like, oh, it's like, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean, like, you know, swashbuckler kind of movie. Like, I feel like we might kind of get that kind of shift. And for the Flash, I think that's a really good thing, because you cannot take him seriously with the Speed Force. There's no way.
Yeah, I think from what I understood from the Rick Famuyiwa version of the Flash, they were going to do like a version of the Snart siblings as the Rogues, and they were going to have metahuman abilities instead of, like, you know, their guns or something.
Oh, so like the like first part of the New 52, when they had like, powers.
Yeah. I think it was going to be kind of like that, and then Cyborg was going to be in the story. We didn't really know exactly like too many details about it, but I mean, I guess obviously they're not moving forward with that version. They're kind of, you know, retooling the movie, and I think a lot of things that had come out about the movie was that they were trying to figure out how to differentiate it from the show, which is, you know, obviously very popular now, and I think that's something that would come up, of course, you know, when you're making a Flash movie, when you have a really popular show that's on TV once a week. So, Jason, what are your thoughts on this? Like, what direction would you like to see them go with it?
With the Flash?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, because for the longest time, my friends and I were always of the idea that the Flash movie should just be Wally West, or like it should be. We always thought for the longest time that if you wanted to make the Flash movie unique, you know, have the opening credits be the event where Barry dies saving the world, and the whole movie is Wally West trying to learn how to be the Flash. Obviously, they're not going to do that, so you know, I don't know. I would love to see them do something like the Rogues. I would love to see Flash tackle like 6 different villains, because it'd be interesting to see them do something like Marvel was going to do with the Sinister Six. And I don't think I want to see the Flash movie do Reverse Flash, since the TV show does that so well.
Yeah, I think that would
do
get
it so well. They've done it like 3 times.
Yeah, different Flashes every season. I think Captain Cold should be the villain, though. One thing I really liked about the New 52, like the first part of it, when they introduced the Rogues with powers instead of them just depending on their weapons, I thought it was really cool that they gave Captain Cold kind of an inertia field to negate like the speed ability to the Flash, kind of put them on more equal footing. I thought that was really cool. So I would love to see. I know, like when I did like my DC Cinematic Universe, I spun it where Captain Cold's kind of inertia field was actually like a derived version of the Speed Force, so kind of like not a manipulated version, but kind of like a artificial version of it, which allowed him to make that inertia field to control motion and stuff like that, because the Speed Force is so intertwined with motion. But I think that'd be really cool, because it would give us kind of not a speedster-like villain, but a villain that could compete with a speedster, because his powers, like with the inertia field, would basically be negating a speedster without having like Reverse Flash or something like that.
It's like that turtle guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's basically kind of what they did with the New 52 Captain Cold for a while. They basically fused him with the turtle.
They should just make the turtle the main villain then.
Why not?
Just have him.
The fastest man alive versus the slowest man alive.
I want to see them do Mirror Master right also, because like one thing I really enjoyed. I don't know if you guys read the recent Flash issue that came out. The recent Flash Rebirth like issues have been really good. I gotta admit, like I can't even hide it. DC's been really doing well with their their issues. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Why, who was forcing you to hide it?
I don't know, the Marvel snipers. But but in the Flash issue, the Rogues like really coordinated together, and like they basically beat the Flash. Like they didn't physically beat him, but they outsmarted him. But they really made, like, the way they did Mirror Master really showcase his abilities and, like, kind of the potential with his abilities that he doesn't usually use. And I would love to see them use that with, like, a full movie, like, budget. Because I know they can't show it all the way when they had Mirror Master in the TV show. Mirror Master is a huge threat. I mean, when you really consider it.
He is, because he has the ability to keep up with his speed.
No, yeah, exactly. Mirror Master's terrifying when you think about it.
I mean, I'm not even talking about getting glass cuts. I mean, that's bad enough, but like...
He's scary, especially the freaking Glasgow one. They should have him in the movie.
Being trapped in, like, that mirror dimension. That'd be horrible.
Yeah, so...
I'm in the same boat pretty much with everyone else on here. I really want the villains to be the Rogues this time through. Just because it really feels like every time we're getting to there on the Flash show, like, something happens to, like, split all the Rogues apart from one another again. So I'd really like to see it in the DC extended universe, especially since I really like Jai Courtney in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but the only thing that I see an issue with that is how, personally, I felt Suicide Squad had an issue of juggling characters. So I hope that they don't kind of, I don't know how they would do the rogues because that's like six characters. I guess you could throw in Boomerang; he's already established, but.
I think it'd be a lot easier just because the focus is on Flash and the villains. We're not really trying to understand their characters. It's just these are bad guys, but they're silly bad guys, and they're not really bad.
We can flesh them out some, but they don't need as much focus as like if they're the main team going into it.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
like, because we're following Flash, we're not following.
That's true. I mean, I think it'd be cool if they did a thing where, like, let's say Snart's sister was maybe like in a coma still. I know they've done a story like that before, but like maybe like his sister's still in a coma recovering from like, you know, some accident that may or may not be what gives her the, you know, golden glider abilities, which would kind of be like a driving force for Snart to really you know, be, you know, the rogue he is, because I'm sure they're going to want to make him somewhat sympathetic.
They gather together. We truly
well,
are
I mean, like,
the
rogues. That would obviously give a motivation for Snart, and then Mirror Master is in a relationship with Snart's sister, so I gave him a motivation. Weather Wizard's always been kind of a pushover, no offense to him, so I'm sure like they could easily bully him into it. And if they want to do Trickster,
Heat Wave's just crazy.
Actually, I would love to see him do Trickster, like as like an opening scene, kind of like villain. I think it'd be hilarious.
You could do it, but I actually think that the easier way would just be keep it small, like literally like keep it to 4, like just do Captain Cold, Heat Wave, Golden Glider, and then we already have Captain Boomerang, so throw him in there too.
Well,
if
plot twist, the villain's
Golden
really
Glider,
oh, no,
maybe you could.
So long as we remember that Leonard Snart is the rogue that we deserve, but not the one that we need right now.
Is there going to be a point in the movie where he says we are the rogues or something, or what are we, some kind of rogues?
Should be. It'll be a failure of a movie if there isn't.
I mean, it'll be a failure if they have Captain Cold and he doesn't have his jacket. Let's be real.
His parka.
Jacket and the glasses.
His little parka.
His sleeveless hoodie from the New 52.
No.
Yeah. I'm sure they'd give him his jacket. They gave Captain Boomerang like a fucking huge parka, and it was like hot as hell, I'm sure, in fucking Midway City.
Let's just remember that was one of Jai Courtney's best performances of all time.
It was.
Yeah, let that sink in.
Let that sink in. Suicide Squad was one of his best performances.
Yeah, so I guess we've kind of settled our piece on the Flash movie. We went on and kind of theorized about what they could do with it. So we can move on to our TV segment here and kind of. So this is something that I had an issue with on the latest episode of Arrow, because obviously we haven't seen the new episodes this week, but last week's episode of Arrow, the mid-season premiere, they introduced or teased a new Black Canary, because I guess that's going to be like a driving thing for Oliver in the second half of the season, like finding a new person to take over the mantle of Black Canary. And the thing that was like, to me, was like, well, you have Earth 2 Laurel, just make her Black Canary, like, what do you, like, you know. But I don't know, it seems like they're going a new direction, you know, introducing a new character that's, I don't think is part of the DC Comics lore. So Jason, did you catch this episode, and are you familiar, or did I just spoil the whole thing for you?
No, I did catch last week's, because I guess I did. The last 5 minutes of it was like kind of introducing this new woman who has a canary cry and seems to be the most likely candidate for a Black Canary. Now, from what I understand, and this is just stuff that I was reading online as well, it kind of seems like this is a brand new character. I don't know about this. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, because Arrow has been pretty awesome this season, than what it has been the past couple of seasons. So I'm willing to see what they do with it, but I'm also of the belief that I don't think Team Arrow always needs a Black Canary. So that's just me.
They should just let it die at this point. Jason,
they did let her die.
Yeah, I mean, oh god, yeah, no, Jason, you wouldn't know this, but I was so mad when they killed her and how they killed her. I was furious. I still haven't watched the show since.
He made a video called "Goodbye Arrow."
Yeah, I was.
Is it because are you a big Laurel fan?
No, it wasn't even that. It was just the way where they had been building up her character and actually has started doing some sort of character development with her, which was very absent in my opinion in the first season. And then we got that, and her character was getting very multi-dimensional, very I didn't feel for the character, but I was starting to understand where the character was coming from a lot of the time. And then they kill her, and then the way they did kill her, I thought was kind of necessary because it didn't really fill a need necessarily. Like, there wasn't really a issue where like, oh, there's too many characters on the show, and it wasn't an issue of, oh, she's taking too much focus off of, you know, Oliver or anything like that. And then she was like, you know, be with Felicity and stuff like that, and I was just like, it was like a culmination of a few things, but the biggest one was it felt like a big push for Felicity again, which I know a lot of people didn't like that, me included. At least that feeling that was what was going on. But it was just kind of like when I was finally starting to think they were really doing the character service, writing wise at least, then they decide to basically just like slap her in the face, and then slap, you know, the show's fans in the face that were potentially
and they slapped me
getting
in the face with a large trout.
Yeah, but
They didn't slap me in the face because I thought Killing Laurel was one of the best movies they ever did.
well, see, like that's why I'm not 100% upset about it, because I felt like it was kind of freeing in a way, because I felt like their version of Laurel did limit them at times.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, and I really thought that when they first started the show, I thought having Laurel from the beginning was a mistake because she should be Black Canary eventually, and she obviously did. And I feel like that kind of like, that's why I was really happy when they did Sarah, because I was like, oh, that's a cool, like, that's a good way of getting around that. But I've heard this season's really good though. I'll catch it.
It is. It's great. It's the best season since the second season.
That's good. I mean, I'll catch it because I believe they have a deal now where it goes on Netflix like right after it's over, basically. So I'll catch it. I'm just trying not to like get spoiled when they reveal Prometheus' identity. Like, I have a feeling who it probably is, and I'm sure everyone does. Yeah, it's
Who do you
obviously
think it is?
Felicity. Well, me personally, I think it's Tommy.
I don't think it's Tommy at all.
I think they're gonna.
Tommy's kind
in
of busy
Chicago.
on another show.
Yeah,
Well,
Tommy is like legally required to be on a show on NBC.
Yeah, well, the only reason why I say Tommy's one, because I haven't seen the season so far, so I don't know what's going on. But I just assumed it was like, oh, some like, you know, revenge thing, you know, like maybe some Flashpoint, timey-wimey, mumbo-jumbo, changed a few things.
No, they kind of like knocked that out in the very beginning of the newest season. But my weird pick, to not go too deep into Arrow, and it's a long stretch, but I really would love it, is everybody kind of forgot about Walter, Oliver's stepfather from season 1.
You think he would be
I bring
Prometheus?
him up all the time.
Yeah.
Wow, if they did Walter as Prometheus, that would be. Wait, he's not dead, so
He's not dead, and he hasn't been seen on the show since season 2.
I miss Walter. I liked him a lot.
I miss Walter. I liked him.
plot twist. It's
There's
Slade.
plenty of time in that show's universe, 3 years to train to become up to be able to fight Arrow.
I mean, that's
Okay.
that's always been something that bugged me about the show, though. Is like everyone, it takes such a short amount of time for them to like be these like super great martial artists. I'm like,
Yes.
it took Oliver like not even 5 years of constant training for fighting, but like I'll just round it up to 5 years. It took him like 5 years, and then maybe like an extra year fighting like with Roz to be able like to beat Roz. And I was like, really?
Also another thing that's kind of upsetting a little bit to me is how they're doing Talia now this season. It seems like they're going again into the whole Batman mythos, which is kind of But Jason, what do you think about them doing Talia? I mean, they did.
I think it's
Raz
fine.
and,
I mean, to be honest with you, because I don't think we're going to see Talia in present day. I think we're only going to see Talia in the flashbacks, and I'm okay with that. To be honest with you, I would be a little bit more worried about this if Talia was going to appear in the present day. She still might. I don't know, but her only being in the flashbacks makes sense because, again, Oliver knew what the League of Assassins was when they were first mentioned in the show. He knew who Ra's al Ghul was, so that's them explaining it. And I also don't think that she's going to be as big a part of this as everybody thinks she is. I just think that Talia was put on the show as kind of a sweeps thing. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. As far as the whole Black Canary thing, just going back to my original point, I hope it works out. Honestly, I thought when they introduced the idea that the Laurel that we saw at the mid-season finale was, or like Black Siren, I was hoping that they would do like a whole kind of redemption arc for her and make her, slowly turn into the good Black Canary or something.
They still might. You never know.
Yeah, they could do.
But I doubt
hope
it.
So. Yeah,
because I actually did like Black Siren when she showed up on the Flash. I honestly thought that was the best that Katie Cassidy had been in that universe.
Agreed. Yeah, 100%.
All right. Do we want to move on to our last segment of viewer questions?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. All right. So first question from Classy Ulysses. He says, "This is an old comic, like 4 or 5 years ago. Do you guys enjoy Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and I believe he meant Teen Titans Earth 1? It's really good. Have a good day. Thank you." Yes, I do enjoy the Earth 1 books a lot, actually. I think they're really good. I did not read Teen Titans, but I read the other 3, and they're amazing. So, Jason, what are your thoughts on this?
I liked them all. I really did. Superman Earth 1 Volume 2 is the only one that I think is weak.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But the Teen Titans books were really strong. And actually, I think the Teen Titans ones kind of took advantage of the medium of this Earth 1 thing probably more than Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman did, because there still was basically Superman was still basically Superman, Batman was still basically Batman, but the Teen Titans one like really changed the whole game and made it more about like they're being controlled by their parents, and their parents are the evil guys. So, and that was a very interesting way to take that book.
Oh, that's like a Runaways type of thing or something.
Very similar to that.
Interesting. Who wrote that? Is that Jeff Lemire?
Jeff Lemire, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Luke, did you read the Earth 1 books? I think you did, right?
I've read. I think I've only read the volume ones of them.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I've never actually gone past that.
That's like 2012 right there.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I remember that I think the Wonder Woman one is probably my favorite one so far. That's based Grant Morrison for you. Superman was pretty good too. The Batman one I thought was cool. I heard people tell me that the volume 2 is a little bit better, because I thought volume 1 I think is good. It's just not as good, I think, as the Superman or Wonder Woman one. And I didn't actually read the Teen Titans one. Someone told me that they didn't like it, so I didn't go near it for a little bit.
Yeah, Josh, did you read the Earth 1 books, or do you like those Earth ones?
I read it. So, see, I thought the Batman one was interesting at times. I thought it was kind of... I don't want to spoil it for anyone, though. So, I thought what they did with Alfred and the Penguin and that scene, I thought that was interesting. Definitely didn't see that coming at first read. Superman, yeah, like what Jason said, was basically like it was Superman. So, they didn't really do too much, like really pushing with the Earth 1 title. I thought they definitely tried that with Teen Titans. Like, I definitely feel like they were like, all right, you know what? It's a different universe. Let's do something different, because I know Cyborg was totally different. I remember reading Cyborg and I was like, whoa, like what are they doing with Cyborg? And I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was unique. While I would have used a different cast for like my Teen Titans, I still thought it was good overall. And I can't fault them if you know, a different universe or using a different cast, you know, because the Ultimate Universe, you know, did the same exact thing on Marvel side for a lot of books and stuff like that. So I can't fault them for that. So overall, I'd say like positive review, but like I don't know, the books really grabbed me in a way that made me like crave more. You know what I mean? Like I didn't like, you know, post on social media after reading it like, oh guys, this is really good, go check it out. I was just kind of like, oh, this is interesting. Like I wonder what they're gonna take this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite of the series has been the Batman ones. I'm just still waiting for Batman Volume 3, but that's Jeff Johns, so who knows how long that's going to take.
I want to Flash Earth 1.
Yeah, I think, well,
that
that's
was supposed to happen.
Yeah, Flash and Aquaman, I think, were announced. I don't know when those are coming out, though.
I didn't read Wonder Woman Earth 1, but was it good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was great.
I like it a lot.
And they are doing a sequel to that one. And then, yeah, you talked about J. Michael Straczynski, I know, is writing the Flash one, yeah.
Oh, okay, so they are doing that's awesome then, okay. I'm excited.
Isn't Francis Manapul doing the Aquaman?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do you have any updates on those? Because I know they announced those like 2 or 3 years ago.
No, I don't have any updates on those, because I know it's the same thing like Wonder Woman Earth 1 like took 5 years because they don't bother them, basically. They just let the creators finish them and do them on their own, and then they publish them.
Are they going to do a Green Lantern one?
Yeah.
Do you think?
You would think, sure. I would think they would do it for every group. There would be a Justice League one as well.
I assume they'd get around to it, yeah.
Because, there's so much potential for, like... I mean, like... And the only reason I say that is because if they were starting fresh with all the potential that the Green Lantern mythos have, I mean, you could really do something really cool with that. I mean, you could choose, like, basically any lantern you want, really, too. You could probably make a new lantern if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
Some of us some of us in this call right now might have something that would be interesting as a Green Lantern Earth 1.
Yeah, I think I
material.
wrote something that would be like a treatment for that. Tim,
Yeah.
but not to gloat or talk about that, but Tim, what you what you think of the Earth 1 books?
I honestly keep forgetting to read them, so I haven't read any of them
I
yet.
forget they're a thing. They come out too infrequently.
They're just like Patty Jenkins working on Thor: The Dark World. I just don't remember them.
Oh, geez. Next question. Julie Fox, he says, do you think it would be a good idea to somehow put in a DC movie the OMAC Infinite Crisis Wonder Woman storyline where Superman is controlled by Maxwell Lord and Wonder Woman ends up killing him? That's a very, I don't know, that's like a kind of convoluted story for the...
I think that
It's not my favorite.
she's
by
just
any means.
asking, do you want them to have Wonder Woman snacking some dude's neck in the DCEU, and how do you think people will respond to the Superman thing in Man of Steel?
Yeah, like, we already had a hero snap someone's neck, so I mean, Wonder Woman doing it doesn't seem like it would cause a huge reaction.
It really wouldn't... Like, people would be upset, and then people would throw that panel in their face like they do when any of these things come up.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't think...
It's good, same basic reaction.
Well,
I think the Max Lord thing would just be so complicated to even. I don't think we'll ever see Max Lord in a movie. I mean, we saw him in Supergirl last season, and he wasn't that great at all. So
No.
I don't think we're ever going to see him in a movie. But the idea of the OMACs how they did that in Infinite Crisis, how like they were sort of like the Cylons and anybody could be an OMAC. That I think is an interesting idea and could really work in a movie.
Yeah.
That could come up. I think that would be something later down the road.
Yeah, totally.
Instead
They
of right now.
they should get on the jump on that, because that kind of beats Marvel to their Secret Invasion punch, I think, right there.
Kind
That'd
of,
be pretty
yeah.
cool.
It's like
It'd be cool if they, I mean, because it's DCEU, so they can change things up. It'd be cool if they kind of merged, some of the OMAC stuff maybe with Brainiac a little bit. They could probably really have some fun with that.
Either
Have Brainiac
could
be
either
responsible for like the OMAC invasion per se.
Or you know what? How about instead of OMAC, we just have Starro? Because
Yes.
I really want Starro in this.
He's
these
on Powerless.
movies.
Am I
making-
the only one that's like not in love with Starro? I feel like everyone loves Starro.
Starro is
so-
a giant
Alright, here's
starfish,
the-
you
here's the thing, though.
idiot!
So like, I feel like because
You
Starro's
idiot! You
used-
child! Starro's a giant starfish, and he sends other starfish onto people's faces. How is that not amazing? How's that like the best thing you ever heard? You're an idiot. You're stupid. I hate you. Starro's great. End of fucking question. Next
All right,
question.
next question. No, final question. Warrior Crook, he says, what underappreciated DC character needs their own Telltale game? I think Question would be amazing for a Telltale series game.
Superman.
I agree with that. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Superman will finally get a good game.
I think
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and say Booster Gold.
damn. Okay.
I'm gonna go for my default answer and say Wonder Woman, because she still has yet to have a solo game outing.
Wow. All right. Well, in all
You know what would make
seriousness-
a really good actually Telltale DC game would be Legion of Superheroes.
Oh,
That would be
especially the
pretty
school
cool.
aspect
See how
of
they
it.
Do that.
yeah, that'd be really cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
in all seriousness, like my opinion at least, like if so, my favorite DC characters are Shazam and Tim Drake and Wally West, but I'll leave Wally West out of this one. So
He likes red.
I would well, I never really thought about it like that, but red and yellow together. But I would love to see a Shazam video game. I think that'd be really cool.
Sure.
Would you like a Shazam Telltale game?
You know what? I would be down for that, because if they really wanted to, like, a Shazam would work really well with the story. I mean, especially if you
Especially because
because
if you had the scenes, the levels where he's a little kid and he has to talk to other
Exactly.
kids.
exactly.
Yeah, I was
and then-
thinking about that too, because they did that in the Telltale Batman game, where they gave you the option to either be Bruce Wayne or be Batman while you're in the story.
Yeah,
So it would be
yeah.
interesting to see the split of how many people wanted to be Billy and how many wanted to be Shazam.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be really down for that also. And then, like, another reason why, too, is because you could really have a really cool story with... I mean, you could do, like, the origin of Shazam and, like, go
Yeah.
through all of that. And, you could explore kind of, like, the Wizard and stuff like that. And, obviously, Black Adam, if you want Black Adam involved in there. But also, you have so many rich, like... Especially the Golden Age Captain... And when he was still Captain Marvel, you have so much rich Golden Age stuff you can do and really have fun with and really explore. That's never been done really
Actually-
before, so I would love to see that.
And actually, I was thinking about it. They did Wolf Among Us, so I think it would be kind of cool if they actually did a Hellblazer Telltale thing.
That would be great. Yeah, good choice.
That would be cool.
Damn, how are you guys thinking of all this stuff? I just thought, question. That's it. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, question would be cool too. Yeah.
I mean, I'm still waiting for them to finally just say who Question's real identity is in New 52, because they made such a big deal out of it.
They're never
and
gonna.
Then they forgot. Like the whole Trinity of Sin thing, they hyped it up
dead.
so much,
That's
and then
dead,
it just kind of dissipated.
Well, they killed Pandora.
They killed Pandora. They were like, "You were a mistake," and she went bye-bye.
You should not have existed.
I mean, in my headcanon, Dr. Manhattan's responsible for like DCEU, and DCEU is currently going through its own rebirth.
I always like to think DCU was a parody of all new, all different Marvel for a little bit. Just they were that self-aware. They went, let's just change everything for no reason.
Well, see, I still have a lot of hope for the upcoming slate of movies being really good, just because it's young. But all right, so Jason, you might have not seen it, but we had a podcast last week, I believe, where we played Fuck, Marry, Kill with the DCEU movies that came out so far.
Of the only 3?
Yes.
How do you do that with movies?
Well, it was interesting.
Yeah, how do you do that? How does that work?
Well, they
so we
found
changed
a way.
it to so the terminologies where fuck was like just one viewing, that's it. Marry was like multiple viewings, you buy on DVD, all that, and then kill was like if you could never watch it ever, you would never watch it. I think I won that debate. I don't know.
Okay.
Tim might disagree with me because he was in it.
That's it.
Well,
Honestly, I couldn't hear what you were saying because I keep dropping in and out of this conversation.
They were saying the discussion last week. Who won that? The DCE one?
Officially, no one, because we didn't get enough votes towards who actually won or lost it.
I mean, the toughest part of that question would be what is the kill and what is the fuck.
Yeah. Well, I chose Suicide Squad as my kill, and I chose Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, not theatrical cut, for my fuck, and my Mary was Man of Steel.
I think I would agree exactly with you.
Okay.
The Ultimate Edition to me was a lot better than the theatrical version.
I agree.
Oh, definitely. I wish that the Suicide Squad extended was kind of like that. Like it added more, but
Yeah, because I feel like if they released the extended version in theaters, and especially like cut certain things out of the trailers, like the Doomsday reveal, I feel like this movie would have been a whole lot like the reception for the movie would have been a lot better from the get-go versus like what ended up happening. But I'm not a marketing major, so I don't know.
yeah. So I guess we've gone off topic and just kind of talked about all this random stuff. So that wrapped up our viewer questions though this week. Thank you guys again for submitting the questions as always, and you can submit some more down in the comment section below using that hashtag #AskSuperFriends. But just to wrap up this episode, I do want to mention that this episode was brought to you by our friends over at LootCrate.com. Save 10% on any new subscription using that promo code Briggs10 and that link down in the description box. This month for February, the theme is build, actually. So there's going to be items from Tetris, Power Rangers, Lego Dimensions, and Batman. So again, I want to thank our special guest Jason Inman for appearing on this episode.
Thank you guys for having me. It's awesome. And we had some interesting conversations, didn't we, about Aqualad?
Yes.
some
Aqualad, Baywatch, we hit the whole thing.
I do. I'm telling you, I like the idea of connecting every movie that has anything to do with water. And when do we see the Kevin Costner versus Aquaman fight?
Yes.
We'll see. I'm waiting now for M. Night Shyamalan to come out of nowhere and have like Lady in the Water.
No, Free Willy.
We don't need to remember that.
Free Willy in the water.
Free Willy, yes.
Free Willy coming in for the assist.
Was there a water version of Air Bud?
It's called Free Willy.
There might have been.
Yes.
And then it ends
Say
with
Air Bud
Jaws
does
just
water
coming up
polo
and
or
eating
something.
Oh, jeez. That's the ending. That's the stinger after the credits.
It's the twist.
Yeah.
I can see it now. That'd be great.
But yeah, thank you guys again for checking out this episode. This has been Super Friends episode 67, and we'll catch you guys next week.